Time's up. Dr. Lee checked his watch nervously. He had been working on SCP-4975 for the past 6 months, trying to understand its anomalous properties and behavior. He witnessed the creature's terrifying attacks on several D-Class personnel, who were sent into the containment cell as bait. SCP-4975 was a large skeletal entity that resembled a human, but with elongated limbs and a skull-like head. It was capable of moving at incredible speeds and could be breached at containment at will, but only when it had its target in sight. It would then appear in the cell, disabled and motionless after killing its prey. Dr. Lee had developed a theory that SCP-4975 was somehow connected to the concept of time, and it could manipulate it to its advantage. He had developed an experiment that tested this hypothesis that could measure temporal anomalies. He convinced the O5 Council to approve his proposal despite the risks involved. He also volunteered himself as the subject of the experiment. Believing that he could survive SCP-0475's attack if he used the device correctly, he entered the observation room where 2 security guards and a technician were waiting for him. He put on a protective suit and a helmet and attached the device to his wrist. He looked at the monitor where SCP-4975 was laying on the floor of its cell, apparently dormant. "Are you ready, Dr. Lee?" the technician asked. "Yes, I am," Dr. Lee said. "Let's begin." The technician activated the intercom and announced the start of the experiment. He opened the small window in the wall, allowing Dr. Lee to see SCP-4975 directly. As soon as SCP-4975 sensed Dr. Lee's presence, it sprang into life and lunged at him at incredible speed. Dr. Lee felt a surge of fear and adrenaline, but he did not panic. He activated the device on his wrist, hoping that it would work as intended. The device emitted a loud beep and a flash of light. Dr. Lee felt a strange sensation as if time slowed down around him. He saw SCP-0475's skeletal face inches away from his own, but it was moving very slowly, as if in slow motion. Dr. Lee realized they had been successfully created a temporal bubble. Around him where time flowed faster than outside. He quickly backed away from SCP-4975 and ran towards the door of the observation room. He reached for the handle and tried to open it, but it was locked. Let me out," he shouted. He looked at the monitor and saw the security guards and the technician were frozen in place, unaware of what was happening. He realized that they were still in normal time, while he was in accelerated time. He looked at his wrist, and the device still had a timer on it. It showed that he only had 10 seconds left before the bubble collapsed. He banged on the door and screamed for help, but no one heard him. He looked at SCP-4975 again and saw that it was still slowly moving towards him, slowly but surely. He felt a cold sweat on his forehead and a lump in his throat. He checked his watch. Follow for more stories from the SCP universe and other stories of the weird and fantastical.